Welcome to the Matt Rats podcast. These are choked out chats. This is where sweat, ego, and bad decisions collide. We're talking real jiu-jitsu, the wins, losses, injuries, the mindset, everything that happens on and off the mats. No filters, no fake gurus, just mat life. Strap in, you're rolling with the Matt Rats. All right, what's up? We're missing one of the Matt Rats today. Our boy Todd is out. But we've got a gym killer stepping in with us, so this episode is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be talking jiu-jitsu from the ultra heavyweight perspective. Joining us this week is Preston Letts. Preston, correct me if I'm wrong, he's about 6'4", 240, 250.
Yep.
Soon to be purple belt, played D1 linebacker, so athletic and large and strong. So if you with a big dude, why is it so hard? This is going to be a good episode to turn into.
6'3", not 6'4".
Okay, I was giving you the pamphlet stats.
Appreciate it.
Well, cool. This is a perspective you don't get to hear a lot about. Everyone has a reason they've walked into our gym. What was yours, Preston?
I don't know if I've told this story much at the gym, but I joined. It'll be 3 years this coming February, and it was kind of two parts. One, my son decided to play baseball. We're a big football family, and he decided not to play baseball, and so I was like, you got to find something to do, and so I had been listening to Joe Rogan. I really like, what's the other guy? Rogan and Jocko. Listening to their podcast, and they kept talking about jiu-jitsu, and I'm like, I enjoyed when I played football. I loved the contact side of things. Like that was my thing, and so, but I was a little trepidatious about it because I'm like, I'm 47 right now. I'll be 48 in a week, actually this week. And I'm like, at the time 45, I'm like, I don't want to go in there and some, 30-year-old who's, got a bone to pick or something like that. I don't want to get hurt. And so I was, very nervous about doing it. And so when he decided not to play baseball, I was like, look, let's try jiu-jitsu. I had seen it and I'm like, this is perfect. I'll take him and see what the gym's like. And I watched him do 3 classes, and I was like, man, this looks like so much fun. And, our kids' classes go right before the adult classes. And on the 3rd class, Jason was like, you want to try a class? And I was like, heck yeah. And I'll never forget that first class. I mean, I was dying just from the drilling. And we were working on knee slices. And I was like, man, I was sweating like crazy. Then it came time to roll. I was dying. And I was honestly looking for something at the time. I've been an entrepreneur since, it's been, I think, 24 years. And my business, we were in a transition time at that time. We were moving from one market to another. And it was a newer business. And so we were in a really, really bad, bad kind of spot business-wise. And so I was looking for something kind of to be like an outlet for just the frustration. And, we were kind of just dealing with market issues, and there's just not a whole lot we could do other than just wait it out. And I was like,
right.
I really wanted to find something that could be an outlet. And I also feel like the older I've gotten, I stopped doing hard things. And I was looking for something that would push me. And I was very fortunate to find the gym and jiu-jitsu and absolutely love it.
Yeah. I remember the first day that I met you and rolled with you, I was like, who the hell is this guy? And I remember telling Carter, I was like, this guy was going like 100%. I was like, he's massive, blah, blah, blah. I was like, next time I'm going to choke him out. And that next time really never came. You just kept coming and kept getting bigger and better. And it's always a...
You choked me out before, Sam.
You've got me. I think you let me too close. But I know like we've all kind of become addicted to it. Did you expect it to stick the way it has?
No, that's the part that I think that's part of the reason why I love it. And also, I think one of the things that really surprised me is I remember my first 6 months. I mean, like I would get to class and I would be the last guy, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm 45. I was an athlete, like a decent athlete, and here I am. I'm like behind like 14-year-old kids in line,
Yeah.
and constantly just like asking myself, what is wrong? Like, is there something like? But then once classes start, I'd be totally fine. I'm like, this is great. But there was always that like I got there and I'm like, and then probably like I'd say probably the third or fourth month, and I was trying really hard to. I was doing 3 classes a week. I was like, I want to do like I think I can, and then my body was hurting, and I'm like, I want to get to at least 3 classes. Then I kind of upped it to 4, and uh, and I think the thing that I really enjoy about it is like I set my week by jujitsu first. Like it's on my calendar. Like my staff, they're like, oh, you're going to jujitsu. I'm like, yeah, it's on my calendar. You know it. Don't schedule a meeting. Like, yeah, don't call me right before. Don't call me right after. All that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause for seconds. Jay, are you? Can you see? Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear fine.
Okay. Preston, can you see Jay? Okay.
He's just. It looks like his connection may not be good on his end.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. If you're buffering a little bit, I don't know.
All right, hold on. Let me see if this is a little better.
I was gonna tag you in.
I'm back. Is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. All right. As long as it's working.
All right. Pause a sec. You were about to say something, and then go ahead.
Dude, I totally forgot what I was going to say. But I do have a question for Preston, though. All right. So, Preston, I know you obviously, we've introduced everybody that used to be a D1 athlete in college. So, you're a very athletic guy. So, when you came and did jiu-jitsu, how big of a transition for you from going to football to jiu-jitsu? Because this is obviously a totally different sport, right?
It was massive. I mean, massive just in the sense of like I grew up in the Midwest, and so wrestling was a big deal. I was a really good basketball player, really kind of my whole life growing up. I actually started getting recruited to play basketball before I did football. And so I wrestled a little bit just with like buddies and stuff, but never did it, competitive or anything like that. And so coming to jiu-jitsu, it was very frustrating. And now the side of being like a competitor and all that, like that doesn't go away, but just being in just weird, just different situations, like physically and with my body that, I'd ever done before. I mean, I tell people, I'm like, I literally would go in for the first like 6 to 8 months. I mean, I got my butt kicked every day. I remember rolling with everybody, and I'm like, gosh, I remember there was a time I was rolling with Josh Clemens, and he tapped me. I counted, and I was like, he tapped me 7 times in a 5-minute match, and I was just like, all right, he tapped me, and I'm like, all right, let's go again, like, and I'm like, I don't mind losing, I don't mind the ego, I don't want it to happen, but it was a really, really big transition. But the thing I don't think I ever thought would happen is how much I would enjoy it, and how much like my wife can tell if I haven't rolled in a couple days. Because like the gym's closed or we're traveling, like it's my personality, like it is the best outlet for me from the standpoint of physically being, a husband, a father, my brother, who's my business partner, jokes, and he's like, "Oh, you're all Mr. Zen now," and like really calm, work wise. And I'm like, it's very true. I'm like, the problems in life are pretty easy when you kind of deal with daily, not trying to get choked out or your arm snapped.
Yeah, especially when you're making those decisions under stress.
Yes.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu is awesome. The mat doesn't really care who you are. And I think a lot of people quit, not necessarily just because it's hard, but I think there's just like there's some ego in it because you are going to get your ass beat for the first month or two. But yeah, I mean, I think we've all fallen
We
in
all
love
go
with
through
it.
it.
Yeah, everyone goes through it. You just got to make it through those first 3 months.
I also like the fact that um I like the fact that for, whatever it is, 115, like like to go and show up and do that. Like I used to be a big golfer, and golfing is expensive. So you
Yeah.
look at like other things that are outlets, and like I'd play golf, and I was good for a little bit and then not. And I'm like, God, I spent all that money and was, complaining the whole time. Like go to jujitsu, we'll be there a couple hours, and I'm like, didn't spend it. Like I just like the fact that it's so basic, it's so easy to do. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about it.
I mean, yeah, I
Yep.
mean, I love the
So
physical challenges too, but I also love like the brotherhood that we build along with the jiu-jitsu guys. Like the friendships that we build. Like I remember when I first met Preston, and I mean, obviously you were very frustrated when you first started, and I know you were. And during that time, I was like, I don't know if I want to roll with Preston very much because, you're a big guy, So I was like, I don't really want to piss him off because if it's not for jiu-jitsu, I'll get my ass kicked. So, but, obviously I got to know you more, and, obviously you're a really nice guy. So, but that's another thing I love about jiu-jitsu is just the brotherhood that we get to build with, the friendships that we get to build with others.
I agree. Yeah. I tell anybody that because I've tried to get so many people to try jujitsu, and I've now gotten to the point where I'm like, oh, you won't like it, you won't be any good. Like I'm trying to like the opposite.
Reverse psychology on this.
Exactly. But I tell them, I talk about it. I'm like, the thing that I enjoy probably more so, I mean, I love rolling, I love the sweat and all that, but is like like you guys, I mean, everybody at the gym, and we've got a great culture, great group of people, and I enjoy, going out for a beer afterwards. Just the hanging around, shooting the shit at whether it's a noon class or Saturday. I mean, it's one of those things where I look forward to going to jujitsu more for the social side than I do for. I mean, there's days where I'm like, I'm tired, my body hurts. I'm just gonna sit and play guard and not try to move a whole lot. But I love the social side and getting to seeing everybody, and and that part it is definitely my favorite.
I wonder, are like all the gyms kind of like that? Does everybody kind of get along? I feel like I don't hear other people that I know do jujitsu that are like hanging out with their buddies from jujitsu on their off time, or they don't talk about it the same. Like I think our gym has like, pardon me, like a pretty special culture compared to other gyms.
I've asked people the same, and I think that there's a component of it. I think a lot of that starts with Jason, though. Jason is such a good guy. Like, if you look at, I've heard in business and sports that the culture and the makeup of an organization, a team, is really a direct reflection to the leader or the head coach or whatever. And I think
Sure.
Jason, Professor Jason, is such a good dude, and he's just such a good guy. Like he's one of the nicest people, and he doesn't have an ego at all. And you know and from that standpoint, he's a nice guy, and fosters a great environment to, and he's friends with everybody. And I think that's really where it all starts.
Yeah, I agree. What as a heavyweight, do you notice people make certain assumptions about you, or do they roll differently with you?
I will say, I mean, like, certainly not you guys, but like if I'm at our gym and I can tell like I'm looking around and I don't get a lot of eyes, so I'll put my hand up and I'm like, and I'll wave. Or if I'm like, if I'm, just depend on the mood. Like if I know everybody, I'll be like, come on, we're going to, like, I'll just start grabbing people and like, come on, me and you, we're going. And, but yeah, no, there's definitely And I get it. Look, I mean, I've been underneath Big Mike. I've been underneath some massive dudes, and it is like, Frank, when I first started, I got underneath him and, you know, hated it. And so that's the one thing I don't do. Like, my thing is like, I pull guard a lot. I play positions, and like, I'll get to a dominant and I'll just jump off. I'll be like, I don't want to sit here and make somebody eat. Like, I
Miserable.
won't. Yeah, it's also not fun for me. Like, I don't enjoy sitting on top and mount and just like trying to, you know, drive my shoulder into somebody's face. Like, that's not like, I'll work to submit, put a little pressure just so that, when it comes, like, I know what to do, and then I'll jump back to side control, or I'll just pop off and go, okay, let's restart. Like, let's go back to the beginning, and let's see, where it goes from there.
What was that IBJJF
I
or something? Just pop into different positions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go
That's
ahead,
not the treatment that I get from you, though.
No, I said present company not included. Listen,
You're like,
if I get to mount or side control on either of you, I've worked very hard to get there, and so I'm like, I'm hanging out. Like, I'm spent, and I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I ever since I heard Danaher and Craig Jones basically say you're not helping yourself by rolling with 240, 250 people in terms of weight when I'm, 175, I don't go looking for you too often. So if you ever need someone, please grab me. I'm happy to roll with you, but I'm definitely like not seeking out the biggest guys on the mat currently.
well, that's also why I do. I mean, I start in, unless it's like, unless it's a bigger guy. Big Mike always will pull guard on me, or I'll ask him, hey, can you, can we work this position? But otherwise, I'll pull guard. Like, and I really enjoy playing that. But it's also, I think it's a better, it makes it to the point where, I hope my reputation in the gym is that I don't go around just smashing everybody. I want people to work to, like, I want to have my goal is really to have a really good guard that is really hard to pass, and I can wear people out, and then, wear them out, and then get to the point where I can, sweep, or, kind of sit out, wrestle up, and, and go from there.
Yeah. I've never heard anybody say anything like, oh, Preston smashes me too much. Everyone just talks about your skill level and size, but nobody's ever like got a negative thing to say about you. So I think you're doing just fine.
yeah, I mean, I enjoy rolling with Preston. I mean, a lot of times I do try to avoid your eyes because I'm like, I really don't want to work that hard today, or a lot of the other days. But when I do, and I think that's the trend that you and I tend to run into, Preston, is that like after we roll, we're like, God, we need to do this more often, It's because we challenge each other so much, and it's like I don't want to do it because I'm getting lazier, as I feel like that's what tends to happen as we progress further into our belt. It's like I get lazier and lazier and don't want to work as hard. So it's like when I have to roll with you, I know I have to work hard, and I'm like, I don't want to, but when I do, it's like, oh, that was worth it. And I do the same thing to Rob too. I'm like, God, I don't want to roll with Rob. I don't want to work that hard, But it's always a great roll after, and we definitely do need to do more of that to challenge ourselves for sure.
I agree, and I also think too is one of the things I'm really trying to do is push to get to different positions. Like, we've had some roles recently, really both of us, where it's like we're getting into different spots where it's not just always the same spot. Like, we're always, playing, and half guard is, moving around, getting to different spots. That's the part too that and I'm the same way. Like, I'll go in and I'll be like, I'll just roll with white belts today and let them try to pass my guard. And, I'll break a sweat. But at the end of the day, and I'm like, I'll say it to myself, I'm playing fat and lazy jujitsu today. Cause yeah.
That's awesome. And the thing, like Mike even says before we do like our competition rolls on Thursday, you don't know when, where, who you may have to fight in real life. I mean, that's why we're really doing this, hopefully, is to have a skill to either self-defense or, protect our family, whatever it is, be more dangerous. But yeah, you don't know who it's going to be. So if I only roll with people smaller than me or my size, then I'm not going to be prepared if that time does come. And being prepared is the ultimate, I think, level up on somebody trained versus not trained. So
I also think too that like we had the last two times we rolled, we had really good rolls, and there's also like it's kind of like if I just rolled with ultra heavy guys, like they move completely different than the two of you, and like honestly, it's like getting to side control, for instance, is a lot easier because I mean just the size thing, and if you can use some quickness whatever, but I think it all presents different challenges, and it's kind of like knowing what I need to do against two of you versus whether it's Frank or Josh or another ultra heavy. I enjoy that part because it's kind of like you have to have a little bit different, and it's like, hey, it's I got a new you're doing something different. It's like I got to come up with what is my counter to that, or
yeah,
that's the part that I like leaving and going, what am I going to do? And I'll be at home and I'll be like sitting in the shower and I'm like, so I got to hear, how can I go back to, I'm just replaying in my mind. And I'm like, that's the part I really enjoy.
yeah, the shower. That's where all the best thinking happens, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the thought that keeps you up at night.
Yep.
Dude, that is crazy. That's totally real. I'll be in bed and I'll wake up at 2 a.m. and I'll be like, how the fuck did Jay get to my back? Or like, whatever it is that happened that day. But speaking of getting to different positions, what's your favorite position and thing you're working right now?
I like half guard. I enjoy, I think there's just so much to it. And I think there's so many different ways to kind of play it. I really enjoy anything half guard. I mean, I need to actually start pushing myself to get to maybe some different positions. I'm playing more butterfly lately, or doing kind of like like one in, one out, just to just try different things and also see like just trying to add new things to what I'm doing. But no, I love pulling guard and I love playing half guard. That's my go-to.
What's your favorite submission right now?
That's a good question. I've actually been kind of bad lately where I haven't done a lot of um that's a really good question. I would probably say my favorite is Americana. I mean, that's just the ultimate big guy. Like,
Man,
yeah, absolutely. And like I've had it done to me, and you just feel completely dominated. And so I definitely enjoy the challenges. I've been rolling like with you guys a lot, and like that's it's the higher up you go is it's one of those. I'd say that and rear naked choke. Those two would be my favorite.
yeah. Jay, what about you?
For me, I've been trying to work on more sweeps, because I do like playing half guard a lot as well. I just get lazier and lazier, so I just try to do half guard and sweep and then play my games because I'm trying to have them play their game and then I'm able to sweep. But so that's what I've been working on more. But for favorite submission wise, for sure, cross collar choke. That will definitely be my favorite. And over wrap, those are the only two things that I really enjoy the most doing. It's just always there, and we mess with so much of our gi because of Big Mike. So cross collar with the gi is definitely one of my favorites. What about you, Rob?
Yeah.
Oh man, always trying to do more from half guard. Like you guys want to work more sweeps from there. So that's kind of I like to start there, get a sweep, start working the offense off that. Favorite submissions? The bow and arrow is just a very dirty, tight choke, and I really like that one.
Yeah.
And I like Preston. I do like securing a little Americana, and I don't even bring my arm from over their head and do it properly. And Professor Jason, I'm sorry. I know he's told me I probably would have gotten the finish in Naga in my no-gi match had I done it right. But the freaking dude was flexible, his arms all the way behind his head. But yeah, bow and arrow I think is my number one for sure. Which I think I got that because of watching old Jay bow and arrow kids all day.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised Jay didn't say bow and arrow.
It used to be
I
one
am
of my
too.
favorites when I was a blue belt for sure, but I worked so hard to get there all the time. So now I don't like working that hard. So when I roll very hard, and especially like I can't get bow and arrow on both neither of you guys, you know? It's definitely works easier on the lower belts, and if I got to that position or was given to me at like a perfect moment, right? But I feel like getting a bow and arrow is pretty tough at a higher level, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really tough to get there. So I think that's why I kind of walked away from that and do like cross collar just because it's always there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't give away too many. Ever since you started talking about cross collars, I've been doing like the from rear mount, the cross collar, just kind of day one, two sides of the gi choke,
Yep.
and going pretty well. So
Yeah, I love it.
Thanks for the. Pardon me. Cool. What about Preston? You're training or doing privates occasionally with Big Dan Manisal, right?
Yep.
How,
Awesome dude, by the way.
How
Oh yeah. No, so he posted something on social media, and I've been following him because I like that, he competes. He's, kind of one of the top ultra heavies, and he's also a fun guy to follow on social media. He's, he's always doing crazy things, and he posted something on social media, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to reach out and see. So I did the first one, and it was phenomenal. I mean, it's funny, like, we're an hour ahead, so I was like, can we do it at 9, which was 8 his time? And I remember, like, FaceTiming him, which, woke him up out of bed, and he just sat up and sat there, and like literally we went through like 20 moves, and he was just rattling it off, and he's like, okay, now let's go to this and let's go to that.
Yeah.
And I didn't record that one because it was our first, we were doing it over FaceTime, but he is I think he's 23, and he is like,
Is he?
yeah, and he is like an cycle, like he I flew down there and did one in person. I trained at their gym, and then we did an in person, and it was fun. I mean, it's fun to just see like somebody who's a professional at this, and we didn't get a chance to roll, but like we would get into positions, and like he'd put pressure on me, or and I remember one time he was putting pressure, and he was really landing, and I was like, I feel like my jaw's about to crack. So that part was, is really cool. And I also like the idea of, I've been, done them with Jason, done them with DJ. I like my big thing was, going outside just to, we know kind of what everybody does in the gym, like going outside and getting like a little bit different flavor, or just, just seeing, just trying to expose myself more to, just different types of jiu-jitsu and all that. I've enjoyed it. I ended up buying like a 10-pack of them, and I think I've done 3, and so I've actually done 4, and so I've got a bunch I need to, catch up and get done here over the next few months.
That's awesome, and it's probably good, like getting to hear from another ultra heavyweight and stuff that like works for him.
Yep. Well, that's the part that I like. He'll ask me, so what do you like to do? And I'll show him. He goes, we're going to work on stuff that will work against actually good people. And so he'd be like, so he's like, we were talking about like guard pass, passing, and half guard. And I showed him, I'm like, I really like to do the over under. And he's like, yeah, I've never really done that because that doesn't work on good people. So let me show you what does. And I'm like, okay, sounds good.
That's funny, dude. What do you think, like the biggest tip, or what do you think you've taken from him? What's the like number one thing?
Oh, that's a good question, because it's been a lot. I think honestly, a lot of the stuff that I've gotten from passing has been a huge help, and like kind of how to beat the knee shield. And what he does? He does a really good job of simplifying things, and that's one thing I like, because I'm a big like I coach football, and I'm very big on like not trying to overcomplicate or do anything too crazy. Very big on like kind of basics. And he's like, there's 2 ways to beat a knee shield. You can either, set it to the side here, or you can, pin it down. And then, so I think kind of getting past the knee shield and then working past there, sinking my hips down, like my passing from that, I feel like, and he showed me a ton of it, and I actually need to go back and rewatch because I know I'm missing little details that that we went over, but I feel like my passing has really stepped up. I used to just pass with I had one pass, and I'm like, if the over under doesn't work, I'm screwed. And now I feel like I've got like 5 or 6 things that I can do, and like a counter to what what if I'm getting stuck, what can I do to counter it? So that's been a huge help.
Jay, have you done privates?
No, so the first private I actually had was with Jason maybe like last week. I actually have
Okay.
never done privates before. Um, I don't know. I just felt like I was going at a pretty good pace. So I was like, I don't think I need it, but I do feel like at a certain point, I do need to start to get more privates just because if I want to go and level up further in my jiu-jitsu game, it definitely is needed just because, yeah, you can go ahead and get a roll and then your professors will point out the things that you're doing wrong and things like that. But it's different when they're only focusing on you and kind of letting you know, like, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you're doing right. Just having that mentor to pinpoint out anything that you're doing wrong is super helpful. When I had that one-on-one with Jason, it just kind of opened my eyes a little bit, like, oh, I've been missing out a lot by not doing privates. Like it progresses you so much further because your brain starts to think differently because they have kind of turned your gear more on thinking a little bit differently. So I'll definitely am interested in doing more. And I did enjoy doing one with Preston with Big Dan, and I learned a lot from that as well. And there's a few things that's been sticking with me, keeping your elbow close to your hip and things like that. It's definitely helpful getting those smaller tips from people that are really good at jiu-jitsu. It's all that experience that they're sharing with you.
Like level you up in bigger ways too. Like smallest thing that if you're just adjust it and all of a sudden you're just like cruising past people's guards or whatever it is that you're missing on. But yeah, I did a good amount of privates with Jason as a white belt, and I always liked it. And I think now that I'm like further into my blue belt, it'd be nice to like get back into doing occasional ones. I'd like to do one with DJ. I've never done one with him. But yeah, I mean, you do learn quite a bit more, and you end up in class and you've already learned what we're teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I also think too that like, I had a nice little string of, I think and then my schedule changed and with DJ where I think I did like 6-7 weeks in a row. And I don't know about you, but like I'd be working on something and then, it'd be like a week or two later and I'm like, I totally forgot, how to do that. And so it'd be nice he'd be like, what do you want to, hey, I'm like, can we review this again? And I feel like, I need that like repetition where I need to see something 3 or 4 times and then still, kind of still refine, get some of the details and being able to do that and go at at my pace and going, okay, show me that one more time. And then, really ask questions, is a huge help. I feel like that little stretch where I was doing it and doing it with Big Dan, was huge for me.
Yeah, I bet it'll be nice. I know Jason has put together a pretty cool schedule for 2026 and has it like completely blocked out on what we're going to be learning each week. So it'll be fun. Like we're going to be like deep diving into different things and it's going to flow into each other. So that'll be pretty sweet. Gi or no gi, Preston?
I'm gi. I like
Okay.
and I don't mind no gi. No gi I think is harder. It's easier and harder. It's like I don't worry about getting getting trapped underneath somebody. You really don't worry about because it's just so much easier to get out. Honestly, the lazy, being lazy, I love playing lapel, and so being able to hold people like, the grips and everything in gi, I'm all for gi. We do a lot of, because I do a lot of noon classes. There's 2 no gi classes a week, and I'll be driving over there. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I really wish we were wearing a gi today. But I do. I mean, it is good. Just I like the variety, but if I had my druthers, what I would prefer to do, I don't get the gyms that, and I'm sure but like guys that just only want to train in no-gi. Like, I think it's fun going back and forth, and seeing a little bit of both sides.
Jay, gi or no gi?
Oh, you know me. I'm always gi. I just love the art of the gi. I come from wrestling background, so I know, Rob, you were surprised that I don't like no-gi as much, but I think that's why I like gi more, just because I like the slow pace, like Preston said. There's just the amount. I'm not saying no-gi doesn't require a lot of thinking, but with gi, there's a lot of plays that you can have with the gi, and even offense and defense. Like, it works both ways. And I just love the art of the gi. And lastly, I just love like the colorful things of the gi, like designs and things like that. Not that no gi doesn't, but I just think it's a lot of swag that comes with gis, which is the reason why I like it. Yeah.
We're gonna have to do a episode just showing off all your gis one day.
I've been on a hot collection.
I'm so y'all all know when I first started, I was the only one to train no-gi guy. I was the a fucking gi in the street. Like, I'm not gonna be fighting some guy in a gi. But yeah, Jason and everyone were finally like, look, you're not getting promoted. You gotta come and put on a gi, blah blah blah. And yeah, I am definitely a gi guy now. I like gi more. I think you should train both. But I do think that there is a skill separation on a blue belt that trains both and has a gi, trains in gi a lot versus just a no gi blue belt. I think the guy in a gi has learned more and knows more. I think there's like a difference in skill. I think in no gi, it's a lot more just 2 heads buttoned together. Yeah, obviously there's skill and technique, but like you said, if someone's on top of you, for the most part, we can get out. Versus someone in a gi, they have your lapel or a collar or whatever, and you're wrapped up and they're driving pressure, and I can't spin out because they've got my gi over here. There's just a lot more to think about. It's definitely a puzzle. And then, yeah, as age goes, you can definitely go slower. It's easier on cardio and the whole 9. So, yeah, I've definitely become a gi guy, and I definitely am trying to battle Jay for coolest, loudest, most colorful gi awards. But one thing that we usually do at the end is we'll do a segment of some sort. And today we're doing tapped in, tapped out. So basically, we all talk about one thing that we like or that we're working on tapped in, and tapped out just kind of something that we're not into or that we're sick of or that we don't like at the gym. Preston, what you got for tapped in?
You know what? I'm kind of getting my mind really focused on February competition, and so I kind of like to, and I feel like people tend to roll like their personality. I like to be very kind of like calculated in terms of how I do things, and so I'm kind of thinking. So I'm working more stand up, a little bit more stand up, and then I've been pulling a lot to close guard. So working a lot of close guard. So I'll start, pull guard, usually in half guard, and then I'll bring somebody into close guard and then want to work from there, because I kind of feel like if cardio is an issue, or I'm tired. This is what happened at my last tournament, is I pulled and kind of I felt like wore somebody out because I had him in my guard, and and it took me a little bit to sweep him, but I was able to at the end, and got points, or we kind of wrestled out and scored. But I'm doing a lot more kind of competition prep with stand up and close guard work.
Nice. Jay, what do you got? Tapped in.
Good. I think it's kind of going with the same thing. Getting in that competition mindset because you and I both have January and February going. I think January is going to be. I'm not. It's not that I'm not taking it seriously, but it's obviously not as important as IBJJF, and
Sure.
I think it's a good way for me to kind of get back into it because the last competition I had was at Worlds, and that was a really tough one for me. So I like to kind of get my mindset straight with going to Jiu Jitsu and then go straight to February. So I think that's what it's really coming down to, just kind of getting my mindset together. And because when we roll, there's a difference when we just kind of casually roll and when we get in that competition roll. We go a lot harder. All of us, we do. And it just sets a different tone and a pace. And I think that's where I kind of want to get at it more. And I enjoy doing that with both of you guys. You guys both have pushed me in a good way. So that's what I'm working on. That's what is tapped in for me.
Well, for those who don't know, got his purple belt and then went to Worlds as a purple belt like a month, 2 months later. So the size of your nut for doing that is absolutely. And those who don't understand that, you'll probably never understand it. But yeah, the balls it took to go out to Vegas and go purple belt, win your first match, and put in a great effort in the second. I mean, that was awesome. We were all in the gym watching on YouTube or whatever, Flow grappling. It was awesome to see.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Hopefully, a better outcome next year.
You're gonna walk through those. Jiu-Jitsu will be ready for IBJJF. It'll be legit. It'll be fun.
What about you, Rob? What's you tapping in?
What's my tapping? Man, the holiday season has had me eating horribly. That thing, I need to lose like 5-10 pounds because I'm trying to be at that like 168 for Jiu-Jitsu. But I'm getting to the point, dude, where I'm about to be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna move up and fight where I'm at because the sweets just leave, get them out. But I'm working on sweating it out, working it out. I don't know, gotta do something. What do you tapped out over? What are you sick of, Preston?
I don't know if I'm sick of anything. Competitions are different. I've got a love and hate relationship with them.
What's
that?
What's the hate part?
It's I am I'm the kind of person, if I do something, I only do it one way. I go like all in, and it's like everything is focused on that. And so what ends up happening is then it'll be like in the middle of the workday and I'm thinking about my competition as opposed to like right. I'm in a Zoom call and I'm focused on that. And so I think that the dislike part is I tend to kind of get so focused on that now on the other side, I train harder. I tend to, work out a little bit more or definitely a little bit harder. It ultimately comes down to it's a different, it's a different kind of competing than, team sports, what I'm accustomed to. So just some of the anxiety that comes with it too is, and I'm at this age, I'm like, do I really need to do this? But I also am still in that believer of you have to do hard things. You have to keep putting yourself out there. You have to put yourself in challenging situations. And I think, that helps keep growing in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the fact that you get to put yourself in a little uncomfortable situation, putting yourself out there a little bit. What am I kind of sick of? I'm sick of fucking smelly geese and smelly.
I knew. Yeah.
And smelly rash guards. Fucking wash your shit. And I'm not.
Wash it.
If I smell it one more time, I'm gonna say out the names, okay? But I'm gonna be nice and not call anybody out as of now. But next time I smell it, I'm gonna fucking call your ass out. But that's what I'm sick of. Just wash your gears, man. Wash your gears. That's what I'm sick of.
So for you who didn't make it to our Secret Santa Christmas party. Jay's not fucking kidding. He brought like all sorts of detergent and scent beads. So yeah, take heed, wash your keys. We're gonna get bow and arrow. No, cross collar chokes.
That was a great gift.
Yeah. What am I tapped out on right now? Oh, I know. It's again kind of off mat. Just tired of my body. I'm like at 40 and I'm feeling low T and just like not recovering. So I am about to start a cycle of it's a lot of shit. I'm going to be doing the BPC and the TB500 for the Wolverine stack. Then I'm also going to be doing the CJ 1295 with the Ipamorelin. And I guess I'll vlog my journey and let you guys know how it went. But I'm about to be fucking juicing up and poking myself a lot.
Yep.
Well, keep us updated. But Preston, thanks for coming on to our podcast. We do appreciate you spending some time with us and spending your valuable time with us as well. So thank you.
No, absolutely. It's a blast. Listen, I love you guys and I love talking, anytime we're talking jiu-jitsu and kind of our gym, the culture and everything, it's this is so important to me. I tell my wife all the time, like, I don't think Jason realizes how important like the gym is to so many of us. And, it's so good for, kind of everybody. So.
Nice. Preston, you want to plug your company or anything?
I mean, I can. I mean, we're in the turnkey real estate space. So if anybody's looking to buy rental property, looking to get some tax deduction, give me a shout. Absolutely.
Investor fuel.
Where can they find you?
I'm on Instagram, just at Preston Letts.
Word. All right, boys. Preston, thanks a lot for joining us. Matt Rats will be back next week. Jay, you got anything?
No, but Preston, just know this is not the last time you're going to be coming on this podcast.
All right.
Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys. Call them Mats.
See you, boys.
That's another round of Choked Out Chats. If you got something out of this episode, hit follow, subscribe, and share it with your training partners, especially the one who still thinks they almost had you. We'll be back with more stories, more technique, and more chaos from the mats. Until next time, train hard, tap early, and don't be a dick on the mats. Oos.